From blush on our noses to yellow and pink butterfly hair clips, from the extreme 10-step skincare routine for 7-year-olds craze to the Chloe Ting ab workout, which we were probably way too young to even be doing, to be honest, I'm pretty sure we all remember at least some of 2020 lore. I could make an entire 2-hour retelling just of 2020 lore alone because there were so many iconic things. But one of the more lighthearted aspects of 2020 lore was the Hype House. Oh my god, I can't believe we all know what the Hype House is. I feel like every single person knows what the Hype House is. I feel like at least you have heard it once. Like, unless you actually had like something else going on, like unless you had like an actual life or like a job. But if you were just chronically on TikTok for the first part of quarantine, like me, then you'll probably remember, chances are you probably remember the Hype House. The Hype House was the first major content house for TikTokers that had some of the most famous people from TikTok on there. Like, for example, Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio, Addison Rae.
Can I take a picture with you? Oh yeah, of course. Here, let me do this TikTok really quick.
And of course, the king of mogging the internet, Vinnie Hacker. And for a hot minute there, it was really the only thing that people paid attention to or really watched on TikTok. But now, in 2025, 5 years later, wow, 5 years later, oh my god, y'all, we are getting old. Who are the Hype House members? Where did they go? What happened to them? What happened to the Hype House? Where'd they go? I don't understand. 1 minute, they were the biggest thing, and then it kind of seems like after about like a year and a half, they all just like randomly left the Hype House, and then it just poof, disappeared. Nobody ever heard from them ever again. Where are they now? So today we're gonna do a mini deep dive to find out what happened to the Hype House members. Are they working? Did their careers hold up? We're gonna go through each individual OG member of the Hype House and then some of like the newer ones that joined after all the OGs quit. Some of the newer ones, because like a lot of the newer ones low-key are kind of just low-key. And they were kind of only there maybe because they were friends with somebody who was already there. I don't know, but they were kind of just like regular people like you or me, but with like a following on TikTok. Spoiler alert, a bunch of people got sued and one person went to jail. So stay tuned to find out who. But before we dive into who got sued and who became a pop star, let me put you onto something that actually smells like success. Scentbird. And that's why I love Scentbird, because it helps you experiment with new fragrances every month until you find the one that's unique for you. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that lets you try on new designer and niche scents every month, but without the full-size price tag. So instead of spending $300 on a single perfume bottle, because why would you do that? You could spend only $8 on your first month, and your second month will be only $16.95. Scentbird has over 900 different fragrances, including designers like Prada and Versace, and even high-end labels like Parfums de Marly and Roja. My favorite scents that I got last month were Mango Skin by Wilhelm Parfumery and Extra Milk by Dead Cool. Mango Skin is perfect for daytime wear, and it would be great on vacations because it literally smells like a tropical mango. It's literally like a fresh mango smoothie, but with notes of jasmine, vanilla, and pink sugar. Extra Milk by Dead Cool smells fresh and clean, but with notes of bergamot, white musk, and amber. And Extra Milk also won the Allure 2024 Best in Beauty Award. And they're both workplace friendly because they're not super overpowering, despite them smelling so good. And a quick tip for y'all. I know I just sprayed it on my wrists, but if you want to make it last as long as possible, spray it on the back of your ear too. But specifically, I also love the flexibility of Scentbird because you get to try new scents every month without committing to a full-size bottle. And you will always find something that you love. And the protective packaging is designed to be travel friendly. So if y'all want to up your fragrance game, scan my QR code or use my code MARI55 for 55% off of your first month. And again, that means that your first month will only be $8, y'all. $8. You can't even get like a hamburger for $8, low-key. Again, that is MARI55 for 55% off your first month with Scentbird. Thank you, Scentbird, for sponsoring this video. Hey y'all, it's ELIANAM and welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about pop culture, trending topics, and social media scandals. I don't mean to actually talk about social media scandals, just people keep being scandalous, and then I talk about it. So I have some big news. Maybe y'all are new here, or maybe y'all are subscribers. I have some big news. Big news is I have started TikTok again. Nobody cares, but I just really wanted to share that with you because I've been getting a lot of requests like in my comments talking about like a makeup tutorial, what lashes I use, what are my favorite products, what my curly hair routine is, like an apartment tour, a room tour, stuff like that. So TikTok and also Reels but mostly TikTok is where I'm going to be making that content. I don't really expect all of y'all to go look. Like, I don't really, it's kind of like up to y'all. For those of y'all that are interested in those kind of things, definitely check that out. And also, if y'all have any other questions, leave a comment below. Or that's it. I have no other means of contact. I was gonna like, what else could you like call me, email me? No. Show up at my house? Also, somebody actually showed up at my house, which was really weird. And I live in an apartment with security, and you can't even get to like certain floors unless you have a key fob for the floor. And he came to my door and he knocked on the door. So he called me by my social media name, and that was very scary. And he asked me if I was willing to vote. He was like, "Did you vote today?" And I was like, "Yeah, I already voted, thanks." And then I closed the door on him, and I haven't seen him since, but that was low-key like scary. So yeah, that's my life update. Comment below what's new with y'all. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What is the Hype House? The Hype House is literally just a content creator house. So a content creator house is just a big old house, and it's usually rented, like, to be so real. And usually creators will pay a absurd amount of rent, because when you are renting and filming and living in a content creator house, it's never just a little dinky little like rinky-dink white picket fence backyard cottage core house. It's got to be, of course, a multi-million-dollar mansion that everyone in the content house can then flex. So that brings me to the actual Hype House. The Hype House itself was a massive multi-million-dollar mansion. I believe it costed like $7.5 million, and the founders of the Hype House were actually 3 people. So number 1, we have Thomas, I don't know how to say his last name, Petrou. If it's not Petrou, it's not my problem. Number 2, we have Daisy Keach. Number 3, Chase Hudson / Lil Huddy. So they actually bought the house. Daisy Keach put down $18,000. So I think that she actually put the most money, whereas the other 2 people put down like $5,000. The original Hype House had, I think, like, how many members? Let me see. Hype House OG members were which members? I can't remember because there's too many members. Okay, so the original Hype House OG members were Charlie and Dixie D'Amelio, Addison Rae, Lil Huddy, Thomas Petrou, Daisy Keach, Alex Warren, Cover, Avani, and the Lopez brothers, Tony and Andreas Lopez. Of course, there were like a bunch of other random influencers that kind of just like came and went. So here's the problem with the Hype House. Most of the people who were in the Hype House were teenagers, except for the 2 founders, Thomas and Daisy. Thomas, I believe, was the oldest. If y'all aren't familiar with the working laws of teenagers, especially in the entertainment industry, I forget what it's called, but there's a certain law, and it was made to protect teenagers from being overworked in the entertainment industry. So like in Hollywood. That law does not apply to teenagers who are doing social media. Naturally, we got a lot of problems with a lot of the teenagers being residents in the Hype House, pretty much being forced to pump out like 10 to 15 pieces of content every single day. That's insane. Like, you would need to, I can only imagine the amount of energy drinks that those kids had to drink every single day just to stay on track for the day. It's not like this was a very supportive environment either. The Hype House had like a little bit of a dark side where people felt like they were being put up against each other. It was a very competitive environment. And there's actually a lot of clips of Thomas saying kind of like toxic things to encourage the kids to work more and to film more.
Dixie, have you made a TikTok today? Have you eaten today? You better not have eaten today, Dixie. I swear to God.
I didn't post content for like a week, and he was like, "I'm not letting you eat until you post a video." So yeah.
So it was by force?
Yeah.
Harsh work environments are harsh work environments, right? If you're making bank, then you gotta weigh the pros and cons here. Pros and cons, right? Like, live in a big giant mansion and make millions of dollars, eat lunch a couple hours later, you know? It's like, right? However, they were not making millions of dollars because Thomas duped them out of all the money. Regardless of the Hype House being one of the biggest things on TikTok, being one of the most recognized content creator houses, the most brandable content creator house, they had photo shoots, they had merch, they had sweaters, their own TV show at one point, they had everything. They were never paid. If y'all want, I can do like an insane deep dive on the Hype House, but this is kind of just like a little like tester vid to see if like y'all even care. If y'all care, I care. But if y'all don't care, sometimes I don't care. So let me know below if you want an entire messy deep dive. Exposing the Hype House 5 years later. Wait, that's kind of actually a good title. So now let's get into each individual member. So as I said, the OG group was the OG group halfway through 2020 when the OGs realized like, oh my God, I'm getting scammed. I'm not making any money. Thomas Petrou, the main guy, director of the Hype House, if you will, even though he used none of his own money and used everybody else's money and everybody else's resources to pay for the house, went and handpicked new creators. Let's call them Hype House Gen 2, Hype House Gen 1, and Hype House Gen 2. And the Hype House lasted in its entirety pretty much, I want to say, about 3 years generously. They were really relevant in 2020, somewhat relevant in 2021, and ever since then, they kind of just went downhill before closing its doors officially and selling the house in 2023. Who better to start with than the man of the hour himself, Thomas Petrou. Thomas actually was in Team 10, Jake Paul's vlog house thing, for a period of a couple months before getting kicked out for unknown reasons. I don't know if maybe his like views weren't up to standard or something, but he was part of Team 10 and then Jake Paul kicked him out. So 7 months later, after getting fired from Team 10, that is when Thomas came up with the idea to start his own house, the Hype House. The problem was Thomas did not have enough money to start his own Hype House because it required a very large down payment. So who did Thomas call up but Daisy Keech? Daisy Keech was Thomas's girl best friend, side-eye, along with Lil Huddy and Alex Warren. Thomas was the one who always wanted to make all the decisions. Like, he didn't run anything past any of the other founders. He basically saw himself as like the Jake Paul of the Hype House, and he actually said in a few interviews that like he wanted to be just like Jake Paul.
I've always wanted to do like a social media household ever since my previous experiences with one. I took a lot of inspiration from Team 10 and from Jake, and then I just saw where I could change it and tweak it and turn it into something different, a little bit better in some ways. When we were focusing on building this up, we were focused on more of the family bond, more of the collaborative effort.
Red flag number one, if somebody's idol is Jake Paul, especially in 2020, if that is your idol, run.
Neighbor from hell? Disney Channel star Jake Paul is accused of making life miserable for his neighbors in fancy West Hollywood.
We've done a lot of dumb things. This is the dumbest thing we've ever done.
Chances are you are not a very good person. Chances are you only are in it for the money. Chances are you don't care about anybody else around you and you just want views and money. For all you Jake Paulers out there, sorry. Maybe he's better now. Maybe he's like a better person now. I don't really watch him. Because Thomas had the whole Jake Paul mentality going on. He did a lot of things with the Hype House that the other founders did not approve, one of them being Daisy Keech. The big thing that pushed Daisy over the edge was when Thomas had approved a music video to be shot at the Hype House. It was actually Blueberry Faygo by Lil Mosey. Daisy did not approve this, and there's a good reason why. Because there were hundreds of people who were partying, who were drinking, dancing, walking around, running around, and they have a damage deposit, y'all. They have a contract, they have a rental contract, they have an agreement. We don't know if it said no parties or not, but it was enough to send Daisy over the edge because she got pissed. She also got very fed up with not having any say nor any credit to being a founder in the Hype House. That was very disrespectful. So what did Daisy Keech do? Well, she hopped on YouTube and she made this long video exposing the truth of the Hype House, to which Thomas responded, exposing the real truth of the Hype House. Y'all can watch those two videos if you want for yourself. They're very back and forth. Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone can experience situations in their own light, from their own view. But I side with Daisy on this one. What Thomas did was kick her out of the house and then demand that everyone in the Hype House unfollow her or block her on all social medias so that everyone knew that Daisy Keech was no longer in the Hype House. All the OGs, you know, Charlie, Dixie, Avani, they all left at the exact same time. So about mid-2020, they all left the Hype House. They were actually only in the Hype House for a few months, but for some reason it feels like they were there for like years. But the Hype House was only like at its peak for a few months. So Thomas decided to not let the haters bother him, not let none of this bother him. So he was going to continue to run the Hype House as a business. So he went and he found new creators to fill the spots that the OG creators had left in the Hype House. So at this point, that's where like we have the whole like generation 2 of the Hype House people, and like Vinnie Hacker showed up and all those people showed up, Mia Hayward. He ran the Hype House for a following of like 2 more-ish years, give or take. And then he eventually shut it down in 2023, where he made this YouTube video on his channel titled The Next Chapter, where he shows himself putting a for sale by owner sign on the front lawn and selling his house. After that, on TikTok, you can see he has like this whole selling the house vlog, selling a house update, my new house vlog, where am I gonna live? So like for a good like couple years there, his whole brand was just him selling the house and finding a new house. So that's what he's been up to. He's also been in a long-term committed, I hope, relationship with TikToker Mia Hayward, who actually was a member of the new generation of Hype House people. They post on TikTok occasionally, but Thomas has completely quit YouTube. It kind of honestly seems like they just took all the Hype House money and like retired on it and like bought their house out, and they don't really have any bills to pay. So let's move on to Daisy Keech now. So I already think I did a pretty good explanation of Daisy Keech, but just in case y'all don't really know who she is, she was a really big Instagram model. She's still big on Instagram, but like when she founded the Hype House, I guess known for having a very big platform on Instagram. And that platform is because of her like insane body, I guess. People just really love Daisy Keech's body. So she would post things like her ab workout. Her quarantine ab workout actually went super viral on YouTube, and I think she got like 45 million views, which is almost as much as James Charles's apology video. Hello. Daisy decided to sue Thomas and the Hype House. So she was basically suing for her right for the profits to the Hype House, which she never received. She also further tried to trademark the Hype House name so that they actually would have to change their name. But after she left the Hype House, she essentially held up just fine. She just like went back to being a full-time influencer. So now let's talk about the third founder, Lil Huddy. I don't know how Thomas and Lil Huddy knew each other. Maybe they were friends. Maybe they met on Raya. Who knows? Chase was one of the founders of the Hype House, and he put up some of his own money to invest in the Hype House for Thomas and Daisy. Chase is known for dating Charli D'Amelio, who we will talk about in a second, and making music on TikTok. To be honest, when he left the Hype House, things were kind of calm for Chase for a while. And then in 2023, he started like really putting a lot into his music. So he actually releases like a lot of music, y'all. Like he is like on it with music. He has like new singles, new music videos, new albums coming out all the time. And most recently he went on the Zach Sang show where he exposed the real truth of the Hype House.
I had really strong friendships with everybody. It just seemed like we were all competing with each other in a sense. And when I wanted to make music, when I wanted to really step into that space, I didn't have them there for me. It stuck with me. They made it the whole joke of the reality show is how I am like leaving the Hype House and becoming a musician and how it's this bad thing.
And did you make any money?
Zero.
Yeah, like it just looked like an older guy taking blatant advantage of a bunch of younger people who had looks and talent that he didn't have.
We had the stuff in Target. We had Hype House merch in Target. Didn't make a buck from that. Didn't make a buck from the merch. And we each had our separate codes for like if you wanted to like support a certain creator. Never made a buck from that.
Pretty much where is he now? What does he do now? Well, he makes music and that's it. Charli and Dixie D'Amelio. So the D'Amelio sisters. A lot of people think that they're twins. They're not twins. They look very similar, but they're not twins. Charli D'Amelio first blew up on TikTok for making dances, and then her parents threw her like this big meet and greet. So the meet and greet, the fact that somebody on TikTok threw a massive meet and greet and had like a whole camera crew there, like a production team to film the meet and greet and then post on YouTube what happened at my meet and greet was a meme in itself, because like you're just like a TikTok dancer, why are you throwing a meet and greet? And more importantly, the turnout for the meet and greet was insane. Now she has 157 million followers on TikTok, and for a while there, Charli D'Amelio held the title for being the most followed person on TikTok. Her sister Dixie D'Amelio started TikTok after Charli blew up on TikTok, so then they became like a duo, you know? Charli D'Amelio also dated Lil Huddy, that Chase guy, and Landon Barker, who was Alabama Barker's brother, but they only stayed in the Hype House for like 3 months. Where is Charli now? Well, after Charli left the Hype House, this is actually kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. So we all know, maybe if you have Disney Plus, that they had their own TV show, The D'Amelio Show. So that actually ran for 3 seasons, y'all. 3 ass seasons people were watching The D'Amelio Show, which is very surprising because it has an astounding 2.8 out of 10 on IMDb. So that means it's a horrible show. So surprisingly, Charli D'Amelio is actually on Broadway 6 days a week. So Charli D'Amelio got cast in a Broadway show called & Juliet. So she has been performing on Broadway 6 days a week since I think the beginning of this year, or even actually in 2024. I honestly did not know she was on Broadway, but here's the kicker. She's not even like a star of the show on Broadway. She's just like a background dancer on Broadway 6 days a week. She just literally works on Broadway. She posts on TikTok maybe once a month, maybe. A little more if something's going on, like for Coachella, she posted like quite a bit because she was like doing a whole Coachella weekend and did the Revolve Festival and stuff. She remained really consistent with like posting on TikTok every day, multiple times a day, up until like maybe the end of January this year or February this year. So congratulations to Charli D'Amelio. That is a huge accomplishment. Dixie D'Amelio started a music career. You might have remembered all the memes. It went viral for being awful and like literally being some of the worst lyrics known to man. She put out maybe like 4 songs, I want to say, but she has not put out new music since 2023. She also kind of disappeared a little bit. She posts maybe 2 to 3 times a month on TikTok, not very present there. Recently, she's been in the media, like literally within the last few weeks. She's been in the media a lot for possibly having an ED. Me personally, I don't really feel comfortable judging someone's body. I don't know about y'all. I'm not really gonna comment on someone's body, but she did lose a lot of weight. And because of these photos and this interview, people think that she might have been using drugs or she might have an ED, something might have happened, and maybe that's why she's not as present online. But that's Dixie. We don't know really exactly what she's up to, but she's not making music anymore and she's not really in the spotlight anymore, so who knows what she's doing. Addison Rae. So Addison Rae is the most like interesting case here. I feel like she's had like some of the most success out of everyone, and I don't know if that's just because she's really pretty or because she's actually multi-talented, but Addison Rae joined the Hype House because she was blowing up on TikTok. She was doing her dances. She was very, very pretty. She's from Louisiana, and she went to, I think, her first semester in college, and she went there to be a broadcast journalist. So that means like an anchor or something, to be on TV, like for the news or whatever. Broadcast journalism seems a little like you're kind of like putting all your eggs in one basket. Like I feel like if you major in broadcast journalism, you can literally only work in broadcast journalism. She must have been really confident that she knew she was going to be on TV. I think she would have been on TV. She looks like she has a face for TV. During her time in the Hype House, she became really famous. Like she was a spokesperson for American Eagle and their main model. She released her own beauty line, Item Beauty, that was for sale in Sephora, by the way, but I think they actually shut down or discontinued it. She also had her own perfume line, Addison Rae by Addison Rae. I actually don't know if it's called Addison Rae. Probably. She also dated Bryce Hall. They had a very messy relationship and a very messy breakup, and it basically ended in Bryce Hall cheating on Addison Rae, allegedly. That led to him posting a tweet that said, "I did not cheat on Addison Rae," but apparently he did cheat. That's what she said in an interview on the low. Who the hell would cheat on Addison Rae? Like, just be so for real. Be so for real. Addison Rae also went through a phase of being best friends with Kourtney Kardashian, and people kind of thought that it was weird because the age difference is like she's like triple her age. No, triple is insane. Double. She is double her age. They would work out together. She was actually featured on one of the episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians when it was still airing. After she left the Hype House, Addison Rae's parents had a very messy split amongst all of this fame that she was getting. Addison Rae's dad was actually exposed for cheating on her mom with a 25-year-old girl who was only a few years older than his own daughter, by the way. Monty Lopez was accused of not only having an affair, but also talking to multiple younger girls who were even closer to Addison's age, or in some cases, actually younger than Addison, as young as 20 years old. And then he kind of just like acted a fool. Like he was really giving like no neck Ed, like just like acting a fool, getting in people's business, judging. Meanwhile, Addison's mom decided to start dating again. So Addison's mom was known for being a MILF, I guess, and she started seeing rapper Young Gravy. So he started seeing Addison Rae's mom, I guess like as a publicity stunt, because in his words,
Sherry and I were not dating. We had a few fun nights together, and she's a total sweetheart.
We flirted a little bit over the internet, and then I got invited to perform at the VMA, needed a date. Hit up Martha Stewart, she couldn't make it. Sherry and I had been talking. I said, you know what, come be my date. We never met in person.
They weren't actually dating, they weren't actually together, but it was just like this publicity thing. But then in her eyes, I guess she really actually did like him. When her mom started seeing Young Gravy, that's when her dad, Monty Lopez, stepped in to their business and made a TikTok beefing and wanting to fight Young Gravy.
Can I get
Oh my God, people think that he didn't respond, but I remember seeing his response. I remember seeing Young Gravy's response. I don't know if he deleted it right away, but I was there. I saw it when he I swear to God, y'all, I swear to God. If I can find the clip, I'll put it here.
I'm a grown man. I'm not gonna fight you over TikTok drama. You got one of the most successful daughters in the world, and you decide to act half her age to try to get some attention while embarrassing your whole family. So, grow up, get some help, and if we cross paths in real life, don't do anything stupid.
And that was the end of that, I think. Anyways, I don't really follow her parents. Neither does Addison, because Addison actually ended up blocking her parents because she literally couldn't take this crap anymore. So she has minimal contact with them these days. But since then, she's been thriving. She was in a He's All That movie, which got mixed reviews. A lot of people thought it was weird because there was like so many product placements, like a ridiculous amount of product placements in that movie. I thought it was honestly just like one huge commercial. She was also in the Thanksgiving movie, and she is currently filming a third movie with Ryan Reynolds. I forget what it's called, but it's like a horror movie. And randomly, literally out of the blue, after kind of like laying low for a few years, this year in 2025 and also 2024, she became a pop sensation and started releasing, surprisingly, actually good music. I'm not even gonna lie, you know, no shame here. I like Addison Rae's music. I listen to Addison Rae. I have some of her songs in my springtime playlist, my girly springtime playlist. And most recently, if y'all were at Coachella and saw Charlie XCX, then you might have seen Charlie brought out Addison Rae as one of her friends to perform on stage with her. Comment below what you think about Addison Rae, about her new rebrand, from Addison Rae to Addison. All right, let's move on to, I'm gonna do these both at the same time because they're a couple and they're kind of like a team. Alex Warren and Cover. They seemed non-problematic, but they actually were very problematic. And here is what happened, the drama, the lore with Alex and Cover. So this girl, Dana, who used to be Alex and Cover's best friend and also roommate, made a 35-minute long video on YouTube exposing the truth between Alex and Cover. And what she said, allegedly, was that Cover was actually a serial cheater and they had a very, very rough relationship. Cover had apparently been cheating on Alex Warren for the whole first part of their relationship with another boyfriend that she had named Tyler. And they ended up kind of just cutting off Dana altogether, even though Dana loved them and wanted the best for them and didn't want to get in the middle of things. They kind of just ended up totally cutting her off and screwing her over, and she lost both her best friends for no reason to fame. Alex Warren got clout from his vlogs. But what's controversial about this is that Alex Warren seemed to have copied David Dobrik in every aspect of his vlogs. And there was actually a really good YouTube video that exposed this. Literally, y'all, the length of the vlogs, the speed of the vlogs, the camera angle, the exact camera, the laugh that David Dobrik does, David Dobrik's hair. He gained weight to be a little bit more chubby like David Dobrik. It was like an entire brand. Like he literally like stole David Dobrik's identity. And at the time when he had blown up, he had this facade down pat. Like he was already branded himself as the next David Dobrik when he blew up. So when Dana exposed him, she put in a bunch of clips of who he really was before he stole David's identity. He was very skinny, he was swearing, he had entire different influxes in his voice. Like picture me talking like this, and then picture me having like a Mississippi accent the next day.
So for those who do not know who Tyler Chaffin is, Tyler's the kid that I just filmed scootering, and I just heard that he got second in Nitro Circus. Alright guys, that's today's video. If you enjoyed it, go and like and comment, don't forget to subscribe. Merch will be linked down below, as well as my second channel, as well as my Instagram. Oh my god! Oh my god! But as for where are they now, they're actually married. They just got married in 2024, and Alex Warren, another case of a random pop star, randomly became a pop star. Actually, one of his songs is going viral right now for being like the impossible song to dance to at your wedding, but it's supposed to be a wedding song. So I can't play it because I'll get copyrighted. They're really strict about that. But if you look up the challenge, like his little song, this is his song, and there's like a challenge that goes to it that went viral on like Instagram and TikTok. So next we have Avani. So Avani Gregg went viral on TikTok for doing her clown makeup trend, which like in 2020 and 2019, clown makeup was like the thing. Like it was the trend. Like a lot of like, there's this one girl like Mally Hernandez, I think, who went super
super viral for her clown makeup, and like everyone just like was kind of copying it. Those were the days, y'all. Those were the days to go viral back then. You could go viral so easily for doing clown makeup. So she joined the Hype House, and she was also an OG member, and she left the same time as all the other OGs in May of 2020. Most of these people became like pop stars or like reality show stars or like were on Broadway. Avani kind of just like chilled out. She just chillaxed. She said no thank you. Avani also keeps posting to TikTok. She posts to TikTok very regularly, although I will say that she hasn't really done anything outside of the TikTok realm. 5-year career in the making of a TikToker. She does have a YouTube channel. She posts vlogs and a few videos a month, but they're not, I mean, they only get a few thousand views, so she doesn't really have an audience on YouTube. I think the problem might be that she doesn't have an audience outside of TikTok, but you know, sis is getting paid. Some people are just happy living their life. I'm saying that like she's not a multimillionaire with 60 million followers on TikTok. Some people are just happy with what they have. The Lopez brothers, Tony and Andres Lopez, Google them. I don't want to talk too much about them because low-key like that can be very triggering to a lot of people, so I'm trying to be sensitive to that. They had multiple essay, not just allegations, but full-on lawsuits towards them. There was a huge lawsuit, it was very public, and they settled in 2024 outside of court for an unknown amount of money. So rather than have this be public and have them be criminally charged, the victims prefer to settle and just get a bunch of money instead, just sue them. No criminal charges have been laid on the Lopez brothers, and nobody wants to go near them. But basically what happened in like the very, very just PG version is that they were talking to minors, and they would pressure minors into coming over, like allegedly. This was a problem because Tony and Andres were like in their 20s and they were talking to people who were like 16 years old. So like we have like a little bit of like a James Charles situation over here. I have nothing else to say about them because frankly, I'm not sure if they deserve too much words. As for where are they now, no one cares. And they're not looking very youthful anymore. They're not looking too good. Oh, and he's still talking about 2020 as if he wants to bring up the year he was relevant and that would somehow make him relevant again. So finally, the last person from the OG Hype House that I want to discuss is Bryce Hall, I mentioned earlier. He was not in the Hype House. He was very heavily associated with the Hype House because he was dating Addison Rae. He was a member of another house, the Sway House. Sway House, not important. Bunch of dudes, thirst traps, that's it. That's all you need to know. Bryce Hall was messy, and he had a history of being very, very messy, and he got in beef all the time. He was in a 2019 documentary called Jawline where he exposed his ex-manager Michael Weist and made allegations that Michael Weist had essayed him, which he then came out later and said that that was not true and that's not what he meant and it was a miscommunication. He didn't actually mean that Michael Weist essayed him. So while all the OGs were leaving the Hype House, Bryce Hall was getting arrested because in May of 2020, he was arrested on drug charges in Texas, possession of marijuana, which marijuana is very legal in Texas. A few months later in August, he threw a 21st birthday party in 2020, which violated Los Angeles COVID quarantine guidelines. And the mayor of Los Angeles actually had his power and water shut off because he had thrown this huge party that went against COVID guidelines. Like the mayor of Los Angeles literally had a press conference regarding Bryce Hall's birthday party because it was such a massive violation of quarantine guidelines and was literally like encouraging teenagers to disrespect the quarantine guidelines and go out and party and whoop it up, not wear masks, who cares?
The TikTok star, his utilities were apparently shut off at his Hollywood Hills home by the LA mayor, according to multiple reports. So the order comes after Bryce allegedly hosted several large gatherings during the pandemic and received multiple warnings from the city. He also celebrated his 21st birthday with a huge party at a rented house in Encino. So this is the tweet from the mayor. He announced that he is disconnecting the utility services at his house to stop the large parties held there, which he says were in flagrant violation of our public health orders. He goes on to say, the mayor said parties like these can quickly and easily spread the virus and put our communities at risk.
I'm 21! I threw kind of like a little party for my 21st birthday a few days ago, but this is kind of how the party went.
There are potential super spreader events for COVID-19. Today, given that information, I'm making an announcement about a prosecution.
Knucklehead behavior, y'all. I love white people slang. Comment your favorite white dad slang. Mine is probably knucklehead behavior or newsflash, buddy. I say that one a lot. So that led him with a charge, a misdemeanor. In October of 2020, he got in a public fight that was documented by TMZ with a waiter at a restaurant. I think it's called Cinco in Los Angeles, to which then he was later sued by the owners of the restaurant for battery, assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and engaging in acts of violence motivated by race, national origin, citizenship, immigration status, and primary language. As for the result of that lawsuit, I believe it is still ongoing. I couldn't find any result to the lawsuit. As for where are they now, you know, what happened to Bryce Hall after he broke up with Addison Rae and left the Sway House. So Bryce Hall, he did like a couple little features. He did a cameo in Addison Rae's He's All That movie, and he also starred in another movie called Skill House. I think that had to do about fighting. Most famously in 2021, he fought Austin McBroom, you know, that scammer guy from the Ace family, Austin McBroom, when he threw a YouTubers versus TikTokers boxing match. Bryce Hall lost, but regardless of whether you win or lose, you're still supposed to get paid for a fight, and unfortunately Bryce Hall was never paid for the fight. So this was in Austin McBroom's scammer era, where he would like throw these fights and like have these weird events and just like literally scam the fuck out of people and everyone around him. No one got paid. He was supposed to get paid like $7 million or something for fighting Austin. Never got paid. In 2023, Bryce decided to start bare knuckle boxing, and that means fighting with your bare hands. Whether or not he was good is up to your discretion. Most recently, Bryce Hall was seen endorsing Donald Trump at a 2024 rally.
Because I identify as they, them, does that mean I can vote multiple times?
Well, have you voted already?
No, I have not.
Come on, Bryce. Look how young he is, how handsome he is.
We need Trump back. Really bad. Make America great again.
And now he just posts TikToks every day and seems to commentate a lot on drama. He'll always stitch things and talk about them. Like, it's weird. Like, you'll be scrolling through your For You feed and you'll see like a random Bryce Hall stitch. Let's move on to the new age of Hype House generation. Number 1, Vinnie Hacker. So Vinnie Hacker was like a random TikToker. He did thirst traps, and actually on his Wikipedia page, he's known for thirst traps on Wikipedia. He was in something called the Hype House TV series. So when the Hype House made their TV show at the end of 2020, Vinnie Hacker starred in it alongside the other OGs of the Hype House. So he also participated in the YouTubers versus TikTokers boxing thing that Austin McBroom held, and he fought Deji, the YouTuber. Vinnie Hacker was also the only TikToker to win, but after leaving the Hype House, he pretty much just signed to a modeling agency and literally just went down like professional modeling. He signed with IMG Models, which is one of the top modeling agencies in the world. And then in 2024, he started Twitch streaming. Vinnie Hacker also had a best friend named Jack Wright, who was famous for literally the exact same reason, just being cute. He was in an indie film earlier this year. In 2025, Jack Wright just kind of posts on TikTok here and there and seems to be posting a lot of 2020 drafts from being in the Hype House. I think he just does it for clout. Nikita Dragun. Nikita Dragun was also in the new age of the Hype House. She, oh my god, y'all, I should do a 3-hour deep dive on Nikita Dragun because she is one of the most dramatic and problematic people on YouTube, but I won't. And here is why I won't. Let me just explain a little bit. So Nikita Dragun was like a very popular YouTuber for a very long time. Like, she started posting and blowing up in 2014. She joined the Hype House in late 2020. So she's already had 6 years of fame. So in 2020, she threw a surprise party for Larray for his 21st birthday. A surprise party, meaning he didn't know about it. People blame him for it, but it's literally a surprise. How was he supposed to know? It had a total of 67 guests in attendance. And another case where everyone was disobeying COVID guidelines, not wearing any masks, not being safe. Since the Hype House, a lot has happened to Nikita Dragun. I don't want to go in on it too much because it's kind of dark, but she was recently, in recent years, arrested and put in a men's prison.
Your Honor, may I ask one question?
Sure.
Do I have to stay here in the men's unit still?
Yeah, I don't make the rules up there, but they should make a proper accommodation for you. You should be in a separate area.
Although body cam footage revealed that Nikita actually asked to be sent to a men's prison.
Did I not put you out? Want more?
One more, don't do that. You're gonna go to jail if you do that. If you get
You want to say?
This is don't do that. Don't do that.
Oops.
Come here.
Come on. Oh. Oh no. Don't let a fucking motherfucker ever step to me.
Please don't do that. There's no need for that.
Oh.
There is no need to act the way you're acting right now.
What's the way I'm acting?
Okay?
At the end of the day.
Let go of this.
Let go of this. Please. Let go of this. Say please. Say please.
You're gonna escalate this.
No, I'm not. Let's go.
For absolute no reason.
Take my bag from my hands. Take the bag from my hands.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You do not have to do that. What are you doing?
Can you please let go of the bag?
What are you doing?
Don't make me ask somebody to smite your ass. But
please don't do that.
Quita silencio. Leon, silencio. 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 Oh my God. Oh no. Oh my God.
She's had very lengthy mental health struggles. She was arrested for walking around naked at a bar. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and was involuntarily committed to, I don't know what you call it in the States. I don't know what do you call mental health wards? Is that what you call it in the USA? But she was involuntarily committed to that. She's very clearly not in a good spot. She's clearly dealing with a lot mentally. And finally, our last character, Larray. So Larray started out as a Viner and then became really big on YouTube. So he already had 6 million subscribers on YouTube at the time of joining the Hype House, the new Hype House group. He was also in the Hype House TV show too. Frankly, Larray doesn't really need a Where Are They Now because he was successful long before the Hype House and has continued to be successful long after the Hype House because it has been almost 5 years since he left the Hype House. So he has like a music career. He's made hit singles. He's had huge collaborations. He's made millions of dollars. Frankly, is doing just fine. And like his career is really giving. He's giving. His career is giving. All right, y'all. If you made it to the end of this video, comment a renegade. 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 Wait. Renegade. No, that's not it. Fuck, maybe I don't remember it. I miss TikTok dances. I want to be a TikTok dancer. That would actually kind of be like low-key a little bit of a dream. Like teenage me would be so proud living my teenage dream as a TikTok dancer. Comment ideas for videos below. I love reading through all of y'all's suggestions and sometimes they actually make it out the comment section. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash subscribe. You do not want to miss my next upload. And also let me know if you want like an in-depth deep dive on all the members in the Hype House or maybe like specific members. I could do that too. But if you like this video, I upload new videos just like this one every Friday and Saturday morning. But that is quite enough from me, y'all. My thyroid is swollen. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night and I will see y'all in the next one.